Conveying a story through striking visuals is the main job of a cinematographer in order to properly develop a storyline, theme, and tone. The way in which a film is presented is essential for the complete understanding of the story being depicted. Our ability to connect with the plot and the movie's characters is dependent on proper usage of color, perspective, light, and if necessary, motion graphics, all of which provide a more in-depth cinematic experience for viewers. Here's how these components contribute to the effectiveness of a film's plot. Color. Color is one of the most important factors when it comes to a movie's style and presentation. The proper usage of color in film can lead readers to connect emotionally with its characters and with the story being told. The art of color symbolism relates specific colors to certain emotions or concepts, such as yellow to chaos, green to greed, blue to sadness or stability, and black to death or madness. When one sees brighter colors, they tend to feel happier in response. Compared to that, if they see darker colors, they begin to feel cold and uneasy. From the luminous colors of Wes Anderson to the dull tones of Tim Burton, color palettes go a long way in creating a story. Drive is the perfect example of meaningful color inclusion. Throughout the movie, different shades of blue and orange are employed to suggest a separation between two worlds, that of Driver and Irene. At the beginning of the movie, Driver is continuously surrounded by blue, characterizing the somber tones of his criminal involvement, compared to Irene, who is surrounded by warmer shades of orange. Later on in the movie, Driver begins to be surrounded by orange and Irene surrounded by blue as they become parts of each other's life, all while Driver keeps his true identity to himself. The monochrome colors of Steven Spielberg's Schindler's List relates to the darker subject of the Holocaust film. The shades of yellow in Apocalypse Now not only emphasize the napalm mentioned in the script, but also the disarray of the Vietnam War. And the playful colors employed in Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory accentuate the whimsical creations of the strange genius. All of these films use color in various ways to develop a plot and its characters, creating a production of substance along with style, allowing the viewer to relate to the movie on a deeper level. Perspective. Perspective, creating height, width, depth, and position, is seen all throughout a film when the proper shots are used. Perspective shots pull the viewer into the character's world, allowing for an immersive experience. Perspective can suggest power, as seen in the low-angle shot of Darth Vader in Star Wars, or to instill discomfort with the aerial shot like in Get Out to simulate a sinking feeling. There are multiple shots that add to a storyline, playing on the setting and emotions in a particular scene, such as the close-up, used to create tension or to single out the minute emotional details of a specific character. We see this in the good, the bad, and the ugly during the standoff. When watching the scene, you feel the tension created between the characters. The tracking shot or follow shot allow us to move with the character that is being focused on, as if we are in the film ourselves. We see this in Goodfellas as we follow Henry Hill into the Coca Cabana. The training montage in Rocky as Rocky runs up the steps of the Philadelphia Museum of Art. Again in The Shining, where we follow Danny riding on his bike through the halls, as well as in the party scene of Ghostbusters. There are multiple other shots that add to a scene, such as the roll shot as seen in The Dark Knight, the subjective shot as seen in The Black Swan, the pan shot in the Grand Budapest Hotel, and many others, all with the purpose of including the audience in the narrative. Light. Light, much like color, sets the mood and tone of a scene. It creates emotion, creating a separation between light and darkness, or between happiness and sadness. Dark light suggests a gloomier tone. More often than not, low light in movies also suggest mystery, which is why it is often used in horror films such as Halloween. We also see darker light in The Godfather, creating somewhat of a dangerous tone during its scenes and through its introduction of characters. We see a contrast between dark and light, suggesting the separation between good and bad throughout the film as well. We see this good and bad distinction again in relation to the dark side in Star Wars. We see dark light again towards the end of Taxi Driver. The low light during the violent scene emphasizes the chaos of the moment as well as the darker mind of Travis. Bright light, in contrast, suggests happier emotions, such as in The Wizard of Oz, highlighting the childlike setting Dorothy is placed in. Bright light also implies intensity or disillusionment, such as in the fight scene in Sherlock Holmes or in Room when Jack first experiences the outside world. Soft light, which is neither dark or bright, creates a comforting feeling, like in Her, used to emphasize the dreamlike state Theodore is in. Whether it be dark, bright, or soft, lighting in film is extremely important in invoking emotion, developing a character's storyline, and setting a tone for the overall movie. Motion graphics. While not always necessary, depending on the plot, motion graphics and CGI in film place its viewers in a different world. Motion graphics create characters and visuals that develop the plot and adds to the realism of a fictional story. We see masterful use of motion graphics in Avatar, in which we dive into the world of the Na'vi and witness the wars between them and those who are trying to invade their home. We also see CGI in the work of Michael Bay, and in animated films. Wes Anderson's Fantastic Mr. Fox, for example, uses motion graphics and animation in order to develop the plot of the Fox family. We also see motion graphics in the opening and ending sequences of many movies, providing the perfect intro or outro to a film. Motion graphics and CGI, while not real, allow for a fun and immersive experience for an audience. Films create a getaway for its viewers, involving them in a world separate from their own. Through proper usage of color, perspective, light, and motion graphics, films effectively evoke emotions and explain the plot of a movie rather than only contributing to its style. The visuals of a movie are as important as the dialogue, and when employed together, they create a movie that is worth the watch.